Good evening. There now appears to be some disagreement on whether or not the public protector, Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane, should be investigating claims that President Cyril Ramaphosa or his ANC leadership campaign team could be implicated in money laundering. Over the weekend, the Sunday Times newspaper said Mkhwebane was investigating whether the payments made to the account used to fund Ramaphosa's ANC leadership campaign does amount to money laundering. She started her probe after DA leader Mmusi Maimane lodged a complaint saying it was improper that the company, formerly known as Bosasa, was giving money to Ramaphosa's ANC leadership campaign. Today, Ramaphosa's leadership campaign team has strongly denied any claims that they or the president were involved in money laundering. The spokesperson for the public protector is Oupa Segalwe. He's in our Tshwane Pretoria studios now. Oupa, good evening to you. Firstly, are you able to confirm what the public protector is actually investigating here?
Good evening, Stephen. I can confirm that the public protector received a complaint from Mr. Mmusi Maimane of the Democratic Alliance, and that in his complaint he wanted the public protector to look into three issues. First, he wanted the public protector to look into whether or not the president misled Parliament when he was responding to questions relating to the 500,000 rand donation from Bosasa towards his campaign for the ANC presidency. Secondly, he wanted the public protector to look at what he termed an improper relationship between the president and his family on the one side and Bosasa on the other side, essentially saying there that there may have been a conflict between the president's private interest and his official duties. And lastly, he wanted the public protector to look into a suspicion of money laundering on the part of the president.
So are you able to confirm if she is actually investigating money laundering as a result of this complaint?
The public protector is looking into the complaint as a whole, encompassing all of those three allegations. And so she will communicate the way forward when she has concluded that particular investigation. I don't want to get into the nitty-gritties of where we are in terms of that particular investigations, except to indicate to the public that the investigation is at the advanced stage, and the president has been served with a Section 7(9) notice, and then we are expecting him this week to revert to the public protector so that she can finalize that particular investigation.
So you can't tell us at this stage when a finding is likely to be announced. This could still be some time from what you've just said.
Of course, we cannot talk findings at this point in time because there are no findings. What is there is a notice in terms of Section 7(9) of the Public Protector Act, and the public protector is waiting for the president to submit his representations or his response to that particular notice, which the public protector will take time to study and analyze before she wraps up the investigation and the report for release to the public.
Oupa, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know if you are. Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane, of course, is an advocate, and there are various other legal people at play here. But one legal person who's written about this in a piece I think published just tonight, it's just been brought to my attention, is the constitutional law professor at the University of Cape Town, Pierre de Vos. If you'll forgive me, he quotes this in his piece tonight. He says, the money laundering aspect of the public protector's investigation deals with one private person or business channeling money to another private entity, and is therefore completely beyond the scope of the powers of the public protector. The point I think that he's making, and I think you probably have not had a chance to see this, but if we read the whole piece, I think what he is trying to suggest is that the public protector is supposed to be investigating issues relating to government rather than to what happens between two private individuals, because if two private individuals have broken the law, the police are supposed to investigate. Do you have any response to that?
I think we must guard against jumping the gun and assuming what the public protector will come out with at the end of this investigation. What we should be doing is giving the public protector the space to do her work and wait on the outcome of the investigation. And when people have problems with whatever she will come up with, they can then take it to the next level. Some have taken reports on review where they disagreed with the outcome. So again, if people will be unhappy with whatever she will come up with, which no one knows at this point in time, they will be free to approach the courts and deal with that matter. The public protector is concerned about such comments which happen halfway through her investigations, because in some ways they may amount to interference with the work of the public protector, which is something outlawed by Section 181, subsection 4 of the Constitution.
Okay, you say that, but if it is true that the public protector is investigating money laundering, which you've just confirmed she's doing, and if it is also true that this is about payments made between two people of their own accord, it would seem that the people who should investigate this would be the police. It's up to them whether or not to. I mean, the Financial Intelligence Centre, there are various other authorities in this. Does the Public Protectors Act actually allow an investigation in this case? Is it your view that it does?
I confirmed that Mr. Mmusi Maimane asked the public protector to look into that allegation. And I said that the public protector is considering all of that. And then at the tail end of the process, she will indicate what will happen. I cannot at this stage talk about those issues because this is a process that is still in full swing. But the public protector knows exactly what the laws of the country requires of her.
Okay. Oupa, you'll know the claim that comes. People who support the president, they will say that this is a political game, that she is a part of some sort of agenda. You've denied that on this platform and in other platforms before. But either way, if a finding is made against the president and against members of his campaign team, it's incredibly likely that this will go off to court. Will the public protector, is she ready to stand by her findings in court once they come and if that challenge comes?
Of course, she will, but we must dispel this notion that, you know, to have a report taken on review is something to be frowned upon. We have noticed over the last few months people stigmatizing with negative connotation any act of taking a public protector's review on report. And it's strange that when court judgments are taken on appeal, no one says such things.
But there's a pattern here, is there not? It's not just one report, it's not just two reports, it's more than that that have been taken on review. I don't think, I mean, while reports have been taken on review before, I don't think there have been so many. The argument they're making, as I understand it, is that it's a pattern. You
will recall, Stephen, that before 2016, as an institution, we had a challenge of people ignoring the public protector's remedial action, saying the public protector is not a court of law and so forth. And in March that year, 2016, the Constitutional Court put the matter beyond doubt and indicated that the public protector's remedial action is binding unless set aside by a court of law. So since that judgment, we have seen a spike in the number of applications for the review of public protector decisions. It actually started shortly after the announcement to that effect by the Constitutional Court, which was like 8 months before Advocate Mkhwebane came into office. So by the time she came into office, there were already 16 cases that were taken on judicial review. So people must not create an impression that this is a novel phenomenon just started since her assumption of duty.
Oupa Segalwe, thank you very much indeed for your time tonight. I do appreciate it. Spokesperson for the Office of the Public Protector, of course, the Public Protector is Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane.